New Year is beginning. That means new possibilities, new energies coming in. And when we gather together, I think we multiply our potentials. It becomes exponential, especially with like-minded people, spiritually connected as we are on different levels. I'm Philip Montrose with my wonderful wife and partner, Jane Montrose.
Hi, everyone.
We are co-founders, directors of Awakenings Institute, a nonprofit organization helping you step up and tap into the heart and soul with holistic coaching and healing. Today, we want to share some important tips, some insights, some things we think you'll find very useful now for the coming year, how to get going in the right way, and we'll explore self-realization and freedom in the process. And then we will also have a collective oracle reading, a very special reading with some special cards and a channeling following that. And let's begin with some keys for self-realization. That sounds good enough. That sounds challenging enough for this year, right? Sounds important, exciting enough to get us going.
Yeah.
Yeah, self-realizing and freedom. Jane,
Yeah,
did
and
you want to open any comments on that?
yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about just welcoming everyone to the new year. We've been on kind of a hiatus for those who are aware of our programs and things. We've been on holiday for a couple weeks and really have missed everyone and wanted to take this opportunity just to connect for welcoming in the new year. And I think Philip and I both have been just doing a lot of self reflection. And also, as people who know us know, we do a lot of tarot and oracle readings. So we've been looking at ways that we can clear out all the old and prepare for what's coming in that's new. And the thing that has struck me and that keeps coming up as a theme for me, which I think also is a theme for those who feel would say new age or for the next uh, step maybe for humanity is to understand that freedom is possible for us and really to embrace freedom. I think that for myself it's really important sometimes. It's easy to close ourselves in and to believe in some way or another that we're victims of circumstances that are larger than ourselves that would prevent us from feeling free and from being able to live fully and realize our purpose for being able to do the things that we really want to do with our lives. So I think as the year begins, this is an opportunity to together to open to the potential that we can soar this
Mm-hmm.
year. And you might even just feel that energy of being able to fly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any of you ever have dreams about flying or just imagining that you could fly. Sometimes I have these dreams where I imagine myself like I can float downstairs without touching the stairs, just to be able to move so much more freely than I ever can. And that I'm aware of at least in my waking life. Um, and it just brings us also to uh, what we view as an important distinction for all of us to make a transition from the place where we might view ourselves as victims again, victims of a reality that's larger than us, that's causing us to be contracted and opening to ourselves as creators, which we
Mm-hmm.
truly are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for myself, I continuously understand, I think at a deeper and deeper level that we're creators because God resides in us. And I think we can't diminish that as an idea for ourselves or look at it as theoretical because it's true. We understand truth because God resides in us. And I think it's an important kind of a foundation to build on. Philip, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think if we give this time a special, sacred, important meaning, it's going to carry through the year. It's going to give us an impetus going forward to make this, well, it's nice, it's New Year's, it's fun and sort of perfunctory going through the motions, but make it really meaningful. Uh, that this is something special. We don't know what's going to happen, but if we're in the best place possible, as we'll explain here in a moment, I think we can make the most of it for ourselves and for everyone we touch.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's an opportunity. You could say that the wind is at our backs, or is it?
Mhm.
Is
Yeah, the
that right?
wind. Yeah.
Right now, it actually is because we just had a full moon or a new moon the day before yesterday, I think.
Hmm.
And what that means is that we're opening in terms of the moon to a new phase. So the energy is rising. This is a wonderful time to focus on what you want to leave behind and what you want to take with you during this lunar phase, and also just to connect with that energy, to ride on that wave, you could say, to start the new year off in a
Hmm.
wonderful way.
And we want to share with you some uh, tips from our upcoming new book, Awakening to Your Magnificence. And we actually have a little free overview excerpt for you that you can get. We'll tell you at the end of the uh, webinar here about how to get the free. Uh, we're excited about this free new book that we'll be publishing early next year.
Yeah.
So, in
And
oh,
I am curious, since we have friends here,
yes,
and this is informal. If anyone
yeah,
else wants to say something about
yeah,
freedom this
yeah,
year
and
and
we
what
can
you
before we go
envision
into
for the
some of
year.
our tips here. Yeah, any things coming up for you in the notion of freedom or self-realization?
Little things. Anyone? Any thoughts? Buddy's ready.
This is
There's
Margaret.
Margaret. Hi.
I I think that one of the things that I've been working at embracing is the fact that just the idea of allowing newness to be present, because I think in a positive way, because I
Mhm.
think that there is so much focus on a lot of the negative things that are coming about in
Hmm.
this new year. And so for me, it's just been trying to, whenever I experience something that might be a negative trigger, to immediately try to do a shift to the idea of, well, what could be instead? What's
Hmm.
the
Right.
opposite of this? And just
Mhm.
Right.
trying to, just expand on that idea of new can be positive and keeping that focus on newness being positive. So I like the idea that you're talking about freedom, because I feel like freedom is that positive element to something that's new as well. So
Hmm.
Right. Right.
Hmm.
Well, and the more we can see ourselves as being free, the better, obviously. The more
Hmm.
we see ourselves as being victims, it's kind of like
Right.
that puts us much more in that space, which isn't where we want to be.
So I want to share a few of the tips on self-realization from our upcoming new book, This Awakening to Your Magnificence. And the first one I wanted to share is remember that life is happening for you, not to you. You may have heard that before. Um, and that brings up the idea when we think it's happening to us, then we tend to be resonating a victim frequency, which we all do at times. So don't beat yourself up if you go, darn, it happens. And the nice thing is if you have this sort of going ahead, and the whole webinar today is all about going ahead, preparing yourself to live more in the now, because when uh, things happen to you, then you're more ready to deal with them more resiliently, more proactively, more as a creator who you truly are, who we truly are. In essence, it's clouded over by a lot of programming and distortion, as we know. And of course, it's easy to remember life is happening for us when things are going well, which is great. We've had some wonderful new projects this past year, and we mentioned a new book coming up, meeting with new people. All that's wonderful. I know you have some wonderful things in your life, big or small. However, when things are challenging, that's when it's a little more difficult to remember life is happening for you, not to you. Um, about a month ago, I got into a car accident, which I was very lucky not to get seriously injured or killed. It was really that I was hit by a Big Mac truck. You ever heard the phrase "get it's like getting hit by a Big Mac truck"? I did, and the car was totaled. Luckily, am okay. It was sort of miraculous in that way, but so that's happening for me, but not to me, you might say, or I might say. So that's how something converting that experience, and I'll share a little more about it as we go on with these tips, into something that I can use to actually empower myself, use that for something going forward now and in the future. Remembering life is happening for you, not to you. Anything, Jane, you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I think it's really important with that in mind to realize that when challenges come, that has been a challenge for us. We had to get a new car and et cetera, and it was true. If there had been like a second difference, the
Mhm.
car would have hit right on the driver's side door, and Philip could have been killed. As it happened, it hit a little forward from there. But anyhow, um, when we face challenges, they are opportunities for growth. And thinking about it, if we didn't have any challenges, we kind of probably stagnate.
Mhm.
So appreciating them, I think, is really important.
Mhm. And it just to
Even
realize,
if even something like the car thing,
right.
you have to just take it in stride, I guess, as much as you can.
Yeah, and another thing just to know, being prepared for that, uh, everyone has accidents, and probably most people have had some serious accidents or serious health problems or serious life tragedies that have happened to them pretty directly. So that's part of life. You don't get through life unscathed. It's part of the challenges, and it's part of the transformation, the opportunities to life is happening for us. This is a way we can empower ourselves and become a creator from the experience and learn. So,
Right.
tip 2, self-realization. Keep your spirits up. Keep your spirits up. How do you do that? Well, a lot of it is the mindset of going into life and say, I'm going to deal with this resiliently. And when you're knocked down, you figure out how you can get back up as soon as possible, and try to take care of your body, self-care. I was just helping a client today, and she was doing so much for her family and so much for her business, but she was really, her feminine side was just completely missing in action, and was wondering, when am I going to be taken care of? I'm just always doing things for other people, never for myself. So that's something to be realizing, taking care of yourself, having the right mindset, realizing that accidents and tragedies are going to happen, but you can use them. Keep your spirits up. Jane, anything to add?
Yeah, I think other people might have ideas too.
Right.
To me, one of the most important things is to be telling myself the right things about what's happening, and I tend to find that one of the best ones for me is I'm in the flow with Joanne's. And again, just that idea of being able to fly free. And it's interesting too that in our minds we are seeing pictures of things even if we don't think we're visualizing. But if you just are looking at that idea of flying free, it does bring up an image in some way. Uh, so I'm curious also if other people have
Hmm.
any suggestions for us all for keeping your spirits up, how you keep your
Yes.
spirits up.
Or
Something
any,
simple that
yes, keeping your spirits up, or any comments on any
anybody?
of the life happening for you, keeping your spirits up.
There's Babs.
Hi guys.
Hi, happy New
Wow,
Year.
you are super purple there.
I'm
That's
super purple today.
ele
Sorry.
electric. Yeah, that's
My
interesting.
plants.
I
My
think
plant.
we
This is
just,
my.
that put my spirits up. I just felt like
There
I
you go.
raised
Purple
my
is a great
energy.
thing. Yes. So I have a new puppy. That's hence why I am on and off video. So we're
Hmm.
like,
Oh,
it's like a little bit crazy here,
can we
but
see?
he's sleeping right now. But
Oh,
yes,
okay.
this will make
Okay.
me. No. Let's see if I can get him to. It's on my phone, on my computer.
Oh, look at that.
That'll keep our spirits up.
Right.
Hmm.
So yeah, he's such a cutie. Yeah, so that's one thing. But I love just going outside, looking at the bigness of the sky because sometimes I can get so micro focused on whatever the story is that's happening in my brain.
Right.
Yeah, and so just getting outside helps me to see the bigness of the sky, connect with, the spaciousness, the silence, stillness, and just be grateful for what is. Like I've been thinking a lot about wonder lately,
Mhm.
and just the wonder of life. And this year's had its ups and its downs and it's hard and its good points, but all of it, if I can just back up outside of the stories that I tell myself about what was happening, um, I can really tap into the wonder of just living, the wonder that I get to experience, even the hard things.
Mhm.
But yeah, the fact that we get to be here, that our souls get to be here, that we get to observe, and that we get to live this life. Um, yeah, is a beautiful thing. So when I think of those things, that helps lift my spirits. That helps me get out of the thinking mind that kind of can just run its own little, run its own little stories. And if I can just remember that I am not the thinking mind, I am
Mhm.
the being that's watching and watching the amazing life that's passing by. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me as soon as you mentioned nature, how how valuable just going outside, even if we don't live in in the country, but we have some beautiful trees in our yard, and sometimes I'll just go and sit under a tree. I have one of those chairs that's right near the ground, and you can sit and just be there with nature, which is that's so nourishing.
Yep. Yep. Anytime we connect, I think, to Mother Earth, like touching
Hmm.
the trees, touching the earth, um, is yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so
Right.
yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Babs. It evokes wonder and its cousin awe.
It's 'cause-
Researchers, things that go beyond the ordinary, beyond the explainable, sort of transcends even the emotional state. Being in nature, listening to music, art, things that just elevate you, just trying to
Mhm.
have that in your daily life more, and just being around people who are inspiring
Right. Yeah, even like getting
or,
together today.
yeah,
You
or
know, we can
listening.
all come away with the intention to have more freedom this year, and to know that we're not alone
Mhm.
too.
So the third tip, insight for self-realization and more freedom is watch for the seed of good. You know, don't know when it's happening, but it's going to be sprouting any moment now. That seed's going to be popping out of the ground. Don't get too anxious looking for the seed to sprout. You might get a little tired, but just trust that process. Um, for me, going back to the car accident, well, it's sort of like I felt like I used one of my lives, and I'm fortunate enough to continue to have more opportunities and to realize the how brief life is. It's out, it's here, and it's gone tomorrow. I mean, I remember being in my 20s and 30s, and now I'm in my seventh decade. I don't know what happened there, but it just happens, and life goes on, and the more you can make out of it, the more enjoyable, the richer it is, the inner
Hmm.
richness, the inner tapestry.
Yeah, that reminds me of another one. Things I like to tell myself is something good is happening today, and I'm going to find out what it is.
Hmm. Which leads into going back to gratitude statements. Those are nice to say. You can go outside in nature and do a gratitude statement. I'll give you a couple examples. Um, you kind of get two for one. You're getting the nature and this gratitude statement. Some of the ones we like and we've written them in our book here. Something wonderful is happening, and I'm going to find out what it is. Just go in. Something's wonderful is coming. Another one, this is going to come out much better than I could ever imagine, and I expect to be surprised and delighted with the results. We
Yeah,
once
that's a
got
good one for when something that seems like, oh, this is a horrible thing that just happened.
right.
Because we are shaping our reality. I
Yeah,
think that, and we've had some good results with that one.
yeah, because even when the quote bad things happen, if you can be surprised and delighted what's going to come out of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
better car now than we used to.
right. That's true.
That's one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyone else? Any ideas for
uh,
watching for
this
the good?
the seed of good. or any responses to.
Yeah, any
Good.
responses? It's going to be a better year than I ever imagined possible.
Mm-hmm. So that takes us to the fourth of the 5 tips here on self-realization. Jane?
Yeah, and this one is interesting for anything that if you're wanting to create something, avoiding narrow definitions of what it is that you're aiming for. I think that if we look at all of the possibilities that are out there for receiving results to something that we're seeking, we can't see all of them. It's kind of like there's that idea of having a radar screen. You can only see so far, but outside of what you can see, there's all kinds of stuff. And I guess it's you could say going in the other direction, that it's about opening to miracles too. So many things. What might happen that I couldn't even imagine possible, that could change my life? A
Mhm.
word that I've been kind of toying with in the last week or so is serendipity.
Mm-hmm.
What if there was some serendipitous event that happens? That would
Mm-hmm.
be interesting. I guess
Mhm.
Babs likes that when I see a heart there.
Yeah, something positive that you didn't expect comes out of the blue.
Right. Yeah. So,
And the,
and again, it goes back to keeping our spirits up and knowing that we are creators, and that we are we are much more than we understand ourselves to be. I think probably much more than we possibly could understand ourselves to be in from where we are now.
mm-hmm. Yeah, right. And that takes us to the final self-realization tip for more freedom, and that is focus on taking one step at a time, realizing that you will never know exactly where life is going to take you. Jane was referring to that. Yes, we want to have goals and dreams. Those are good to put them out there, express them, but how they come out because of the complexity of life and things that are beyond our awareness or able to know. Uh, but we can take that next step, and it could be something small or big. Uh, that's an easy thing to focus on, and it might be talking with an angel, like we'll do in a few minutes
Yeah.
here. Could be recovering from a car accident, like I said. It could just be getting a good night's sleep, or getting a healthy meal into you, whatever. Something, yeah, that's all you need to really do most of the time. And it's good to have plans and goals and strategies. So that's all excellent. And a lot of what we teach is about how to do that in a really great, holistic, spiritual way. But then ultimately, the implementation is in the now, in your next step.
Right. So our next step is we're going to do a reading, and as Philip mentioned, we have other other opportunities too. And one of the things that we've been focusing on a lot in recent years is connecting with angels and other beings of light who are here to support us. And in doing that, one of the first things we came across looking for ways to connect with angels is this Angel Wisdom Tarot. So we're going to do an Angel Wisdom Tarot reading for all of us collectively, since we're here as a group. Um, I'm going to draw 3 cards. The first one is going to be from what's called the Major Arcana of the Tarot, and that's the Tarot is divided into 2 main sections. There are the Major Arcana cards and the Minor Arcana cards, and the Major Arcana cards are, you could say, the big secrets. In other words, the big picture of things, and then the Minor Arcana cards are the details, so the small secrets. So we're going to start with one big secret, and within that, we're going to get 2 small secrets. So this card is going to be for all of us, for how we can create more freedom this year and more of the life that we really want and deserve as the creators that we are, as beings who are integrated aspects of our creator, so that we are magnificent and valuable people. And I'm going to switch. I have another camera here which may be in the wrong place
You know,
right now. I have
give
to,
a better view of
oh,
the
there we are.
cards.
Yeah. So this is so that you can see the cards. And I've been kind of shuffling these in my hand here like this. So what I often do is I just kind of spread them out. They're a little bit of a mess here. And then I just find which one I'm drawn to. And this is going to be the card.
Suspense.
This is
drum roll.
interesting. This is a beautiful one. It's called Renewal. And this is Major Arcana number 20. And it says, reviewing the past with compassion and forgiveness, time to head in a new direction. Clarity on your life purpose, and in your heart, knowing what to do. So this is, and the thing about this also with this deck is that there is an angel, and this is one of the reasons we started using it, the main reason. Along with each one, it identifies an archangel who is here to support us in doing this. And this is the card that is usually called Judgment in the tarot. It's just renamed in this deck. So the angel is named Jeremiel, and Jeremiel is a wonderful angel. Of course, they're all wonderful, but he's one that's associated with actually opening to our purpose and opening to the path that lies before us. I'm going to read a little what it says about. This is from Bradley Valentine, who created the deck, the guidebook. He says, I almost always think of Jeremiel whenever I'm working with Haniel. That's another one of the angels. The reason is that he's so awesome for developing your spiritual gifts. I call upon Jeremiel before doing readings as well. He's the archangel to help you review your life to date so you can understand what changes you need to make. His name means the mercy of God, and his color is deep purple. Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that's so wonderful about the archangels is that they're beings of divine love. And with that in mind, I just want to invite us, if you want, and you can close your eyes if you want or not, just to invite Jeremiel to bless you with a cascade of his loving light, beautiful, beautiful violet, often associated with amethyst energy. And just feel nurtured by that energy around you and within you. And while we're doing that, Philip, did you have any other thoughts you wanted to share on that card before we go to the
card is it often is called Judgment in most decks. Bradley Valentine calls it Renewal. And the judgment is the idea there is to release judgments and limitations as part of spiritual awakening and aligning with higher truths.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it is, you could, if you imagine the final card, which is called The World, is number 21. And this is one step from that. It's kind of like, what is the final step that you can take now or want to take to open fully and freely to the fullness of who you are and what's possible for you this year? This is that opportunity. And with him, with his energy, you can just feel his support.
No. If we keep our spirits up, we'll be in a good place to receive that energy.
Right. That helps. Well, and of course, you always want to approach these divine beings with love. So now I'm going to shuffle the minor arcana. We're going to get a couple cards. 3 card readings are kind of magical. 3 is a kind of a complete number. Like 1 is where things start. 2 is kind of like you get polarities, you get this and that. And then 3 brings that extra boost of energy in to move things forward in a positive way. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw 1 for each side of our renewal card. And with the idea, the first one is going to be for what we need to know to renew ourselves in this way. And the second one is going to be how to do it. So I think I'll just draw them both.
So what do we need to know about this renewal for us for the coming year?
Yeah, and then the other one is what we need to do. going
How
to,
to do it.
yeah, how to do it. And these are all just possibilities. No one is dictating. And I think really the purpose of having the cards is to just offer options for opening your
Mhm.
intuition to what they mean to you. And this one is the Queen of Air, which it says loving compassion, or is it water? I get a water and air in this deck mixed up. I think it's water, isn't it?
Mhm.
Queen of Water. Yeah,
She's
there's
by
a
the
lot of
water.
water.
She's by the water.
There's a lot of water here. And there's a cup. Queen of, yeah. Loving, compassionate, psychic, self-sacrificing, deep psychic insights, calling for others, but forgetting to take care of yourself. It's interesting, that idea often is how, with so many women here too, how often we're looking at other people and then forget to take care of ourselves. Trusting your intuition, a deep love of family and friends, following your heart. And I think in the big picture, the way that I look at the queens is that they represent the divine feminine in us. So this is the divine feminine opening to what we need to know, is that we can open to that quality of love in our hearts to guide us. It's really actually quite beautiful sitting on that throne, looking out over the water, that expansive view. So Philip, any other thoughts on that one?
No.
And I think just embracing that divine feminine in you, that beautiful feminine energy. This is interesting. This is really an interesting reading. So this is the Three of Fire, and the fire is the wand suit, for those who are familiar with the traditional tarot. And the Three of Wands, or fire, is about really expanding your horizons. So it's like there's this here that a flying ship, but often in the traditional tarot, it has a picture of looking out and seeing ships coming in. It says planning for the long term, abundance from past choices, pride in the success of your labors. Be patient as you decide what's next. These are great cards for starting the
Mhm.
year.
So that's connected with being adventuresome and following your visions and dreams.
Yeah, and flying free here.
Putting the energy right. Yeah, so just kind of keep with it, because at times, nothing is happening, or it seems like we're idling, but those might be the seeds that are growing under the earth, that it will be coming up if we keep fueling them with our dreams and energies and hopes and visions, and take action when appropriate or inspired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for renewing ourselves and moving forward really towards fully embracing ourselves and our potential, we can connect with that feminine in us, with the energy of love that is there within us, and expand our horizons.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that another thing about the wands is the fire suit is about life energy. It's about aliveness. It's drawing on source energy to create. That's what makes it fire. So this is drawing on that energy from source to live fully and have a full year. So I'm curious if anyone has any comments on what you perceive from this reading. Anything for you personally? Any messages you feel for all of us in it? Anything at all?
Margaret again.
Yes, hi, Margaret.
I felt sort of quite a rush of positivity when you flipped over that first card of renewal.
Right.
Just really felt so powerfully inviting to this year,
Right.
a new year, and being able to create things that that are different and new, and also in a more positive direction. And it did mention something about releasing the past too, which I also thought was good. So it's a combination of being able to move forward by embracing something new, but also remembering that to leave behind what doesn't serve.
Right. Yeah. It's a perfect time for that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. It is. It feels it just is I think, a beautiful reading. And of course, as I mentioned, if you're familiar with the angels or not, Jeremiel is a beautiful, magnificent archangel to support us. And just connecting with that energy and inviting him to surround you with his light. And in that space, reflecting on what's possible for you this year. What maybe you need to leave behind and what you can open to, maybe things that you hadn't imagined before.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, if you open up to it, it will come so you're open to more possibilities. If we stay with the blinders on and things are always the same and just in momentums, we'll miss these amazing synchronicities and opportunities that can come our way.
Mm-hmm. And get on that flying ship.
Yeah, hop on a
Reminds me of
flying
Peter
ship.
Pan.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Alina.
A little
Too.
different.
Welcome. Good to see you too. Yeah, great.
It's good to be
Should
here.
we hear? Yeah, great to see you. I
And
like your
I was saying in like this card reading, I
Mhm.
felt like it was personally talking to me
Oh,
Yes.
good.
because my life has been evolving for the past few years. When I was reviewing my, what was happening in my life in 2022 and 2023, everything was very slow. People who have learned with me, they know every time I come to class, I'll say, okay, nothing is happening. Everything is stagnant. I am just, trying to create something, but nothing is happening. But then on 2024, everything was speeding up. I couldn't catch up. So the idea that, seeds are sprouting and sometimes it takes longer time to just get to the place of up and running. That
Mhm.
makes sense. And this card, it personally speaks to me because life was in a way showing me my work is in renewing families,
Mm.
in helping families get to a place of happiness and joy. So the picture of
Wonderful.
the family and Archangel Jeremiel,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that
yeah, and the
felt,
family moving forward there.
that
Mhm.
felt personal to me.
Yeah.
And the biggest struggle I was facing, I'm still facing, is detaching myself from the outcome.
Right.
Mhm.
And I believe once I learn that in an effective way, I'll have more freedom, and I'm looking forward to that in 2025.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a kind of a balance between your visions and your dreams and what actually occurs. There may be a difference or a discrepancy. And that's
Thank you,
good.
Alina. And it's nice to hear your voice. Haven't seen you for a
Yeah,
while.
it's really
Yeah.
nice to see so many
Yeah.
familiar faces and
Yeah.
be here.
Yes. Some are new faces, new people here, and some we know. It's great to be with you all.
Yeah.
So should we connect with Archangel Jeremiel and
Well,
get it?
let's just see if there's anybody
Oh,
else.
was there
Anyone
anyone
else
else who had
want
a
to
comment?
comment
Sure.
on the reading?
Yeah. Babs.
Babs.
I was just going to say I love the two sides that had the ocean and the vastness, like the vastness of potentiality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of water here.
There's a lot of water. And just for me, it always speaks to like the vastness of potentiality and the
Mm-hmm.
possibilities of whatever can be. So
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, and
that.
that's
And the
that's really
flying ship
beautiful.
is
Beautiful to
lovely.
say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can all envision that, just
Mhm.
looking, if you just imagine looking over an expanse, it expands your mind and your perspective. So
Mhm.
and this is an opportunity that's here for us in these cards, is just
Yeah.
looking over that expanse of a beautiful ocean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the water, it strikes me, can be detoxifying, which is part of releasing the judgments, the renewal card, or it can be a medium for carrying our dreams and energies and life
Mhm.
force forward.
Yeah, both. All at once. Thanks, Babs. Anybody
I
else?
just,
Oh, Susan, hi.
Susan, hi. I just got this message or something like it looked like a resurrection. Like it's resurrection time. from that card with the rising up.
Right.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It is in a way, I think you could say that about that card, the judgment card
What's being resurrected, Susan?
for you.
Oh, it's a new platform that I'm on.
Mhm.
And it's a time to rebuild, and it's something that hasn't been here before because it's been continually knocked over and knocked down. So it's rebuilding, like resurrecting the structure of who I am in my mind
Wow.
and
Mhm.
heart. With more confidence, like calling me back.
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. And it really does point out how these readings can benefit us, I think. Just there's so much that we can get when we open to what is there for us
Mm.
in the cards, and it's different for each of us. But I can see this as having a lot of value for a lot of people too. I'm really excited about it.
It reminds me of what Bonita, who's here on the call, who's taken our spiritual guide program, the Angels and Oracles course coming up. She said, like, with the readings, they just give her insights and access to understanding and guidance that otherwise she might not have, and it works with other modalities as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you want to share, Bonita?
Yeah,
Well,
I hope I
just
did
wanted,
your quote justice there, Bonita.
that was fine. I just wanted to go to Susan's comment because this morning I drew a card from the Oracle of the Portals about what is 2025 about, and it was rebirth.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I personally drew this card yesterday in my own personal reading because Jane and I do a spiritual practices of often doing readings daily for
Mhm.
ourselves and of course working with teaching and clients too with it.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and it is, as I mentioned with the new moon here, we're in a period now that's really opening, and the new year itself, I think. The energy, there's that energy of newness that is available to us, that it's a great time.
So are we ready for Jeremiel to share?
I think we are.
Check in with Jeremiel, see what message it can receive for us all.
Right, just and all of us opening then again to that beautiful violet amethyst kind of energy, just feeling it
Mhm.
around you. And you might also notice, you might sense that you can actually see Jeremiel in front of you. You might be able to feel, he might even have a personal message for
Mhm.
you, and Philip is going to channel one for all of us. But I can just see us all, and it's up to you, obviously, if you want to receive it, but just surrounding us as a collective here today
Mhm.
at the beginning of the new year to receive this blessing from Jeremiel.
Yes. So Jeremiel says it's wonderful to be here with you all, dear loved ones. And our message to you today is that you are all becoming your own spiritual teacher. Yes, there are other wonderful spiritual teachers all around to listen to and to get guidance from. But remember that perhaps the best one is you becoming your own spiritual teacher, claiming that, being in the moment, and know that you have the blessings to bless yourself. So indeed, you can radiate out that energy to bless other people. So listen to your own wisdom, listen to your heart. And indeed, you can't go wrong. You can only go right. With much love, Archangel Jeremiel.
Wonderful. Thank you, Philip. Anyone else? Any other messages from Jeremiel or comments on that, on him? The beautiful energy. The violet light also can be very healing. You can, if you want, if you ever feel like you need to clear something, and you can do it now if you want to. Just imagine it in your body, just clearing away anything that might not be serving you now, so you can open more freely and fully to the new year that's coming. It is the violet flame, it's called, with also with Saint Germain. It's a way that's like alchemy. transforming dense energies into light. Feels great.
Mhm. So are we ready to share the two closing gifts or opportunities or follow-ups for people?
Yeah, before that, I would just like to thank everyone
Mhm.
for being here. I think this has
Yeah, it's
been
been great.
it's been great opening. I love the reading. It certainly it has lifted my spirits.
Mhm.
And I think it is a cause for reflection too. There's much to reflect on in it and open to. I think it is also it's telling us that something wonderful is
Mhm.
here, that there are a lot of opportunities. Just those cards are very powerful cards, all of them. So thank you all for being here.
Yes, it's a liftoff for the coming year,
Right.
ready to launch.
Right.
So we have two things we wanted to share with you. One is our upcoming program course starting soon, January 15th, the spiritual guide. It's in our spiritual guide program. It's a course on, I'll show it to you here, on abundance with archangels, oracles, and energy healing. So some people I know are already enrolled or are reviewing the course too, but you may want to join us. We'd love to have you with us if this resonates. And it's a very affordable program too, coming up soon here too, January 15th. And you can go to a page, tinyurl.com/spiritual-course. It's a shortened URL, tinyurl.com/spiritual-course, and join us if you're interested in that. And I also mentioned that we have a new book and an early access excerpt from it.
Well, this is, but some of you are familiar with it already.
Yeah.
We're putting it out as a paperback, so this.
Right. We have used it as a draft of a first version for the program, the Oracles, Angels, Energy Healing course, the Spiritual Guide program. We've actually done quite a bit of work on it, and it's a very, we think it's a pretty polished, readable book that's a very enhanced version from the original. Anyways, there's a free chapter excerpt, actually 2 chapters you can download. I'll show you the page and give you the URL for that. For the for this excerpt you can get for free. Just go to a page, and the page to get the free excerpt of the Awaken to Your Magnificent book is, again, the tiny URL is tinyurl.com/now-access, tinyurl.com/now-access. And also we said we can use your help because we'd love to get some feedback from you on this book or anything, just a couple questions. And after you look at it or read it, just email back just your responses. There's just a few questions here to us. That would be extremely helpful to us. In fact, we have a little incentive that we will give a couple free spiritual growth session readings if you can send us back some. We'll pick a few people. If you can send us back some comments, that would be great, because we're in that critical stage where we can make some final additions, comments, and editing on it too.
Right.
Jane, did
And
you want to add
it's
any of that?
about our vision of opening to a reality where
Mhm.
these kinds of things that we've been talking about and doing together today become parts of our daily lives, connecting with angels and masters and going into the Akashic records and all of these different things that we can do to expand our perspective on what reality is for us.
Mhm.
That it's very exciting. I think for us, it has really opened a lot of doors
These are
for us, and
tools.
I just love connecting with the angels. Their love is so deep and divine. It's life changing. It has been for me, at least, connecting with them and recognizing wherever we are, we're never alone. And then when we can connect like this with other people who are like minded, we get a even better sense of it. So thank you
Mhm.
again for being here.
Yeah, these are the book offers tools for renewal, to use the card, but we call it tools for the next new frontier for humanity. Awakening to Your Magnificence. So, anything, Jane, before we conclude our New Year celebration with self-realization, freedom, tools for the next new humanity? I think we covered the bases.
Well, just wishing everybody the best possible year.
yes.
Many,
Yes.
many blessings.
Yeah, we know we'll be seeing a lot of you in different ways, and maybe in the Angels, Oracles, Abundance course, or somewhere else, or on our newsletter, or wherever. Feel free to
Yeah,
connect with us.
Yeah, we love to hear from you.
It's been great.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.